Hey everyone, it's Jess. And finally, I'm going to be announcing to you today the big project that I've been talking about and hinting at since the beginning of January that we'll be working on this year in addition to reselling. It's a little crazy. It's going to take a lot of time and it's going to be fun and stressful to manage. But what we are doing is we are building a cabin. This cabin. It's not exactly this cabin. This is just what AI did with the drawings to kind of make it look like what the cabin is going to be. But this is the basic idea, a small chalet style cabin. And it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but not really. Okay, let me explain. So a couple of decades ago, we bought this piece of land. We didn't understand investing in real estate. We also didn't have a lot of money. This piece of land was really cheap. And it happens to be on a ski hill, a small ski hill that not even everyone in British Columbia has heard about. But it's called Mount Baldy, and it's outside of a town called Oliver. There's like Oliver and Rock Creek and Big White, and it's kind of like triangulated, like in the middle of all of those. It actually has really great elevation. It's a small community ski hill. It has like two chairs and a T-bar, and it's just a really cute place. And we have had this piece of land up there for decades, and we have talked about, like, even the first year that we had it, we talked about building a cabin on it. A few years later, we talked about it again. 2 or 3 years ago, we talked about it again, and it just never kind of came to fruition. But we decided that this year is the year to do it, and we have a whole bunch of different reasons for this. For one, we believe that the availability of contractors and help to build this cabin is going to be a little bit easier because housing starts in British Columbia are very, very low. So there's not nearly as much activity happening in the construction industry province wide as there has been in the previous few years. So we think that the contractors that we need will be a little bit more available. And that, so far as we're planning it, kind of seems to be the case. We've already met some really nice people, some people that I think are reputable and are in our corner to make this thing work. So we're pretty excited about that. Another reason we decided to build it is because we're really just looking for a different, like a change of pace from reselling, to be honest. If you listen to the podcast, sometimes I'm really optimistic. Sometimes I'm highly critical. Sometimes you can probably hear some fatigue in my voice. And to be honest, as much as I love reselling and I love the treasure hunt and I love all of that stuff, part of me is like, I want to do something else, like a legacy project, something that's outside the comfort zone, something that's totally new. And this is it. We already have the land. So we can do it. Now, Johan is reasonably well experienced with building, and we plan to approach this with something called an owner builder authorization, which in the province is basically an exam that you take that tests your knowledge of building to a kind of a minimal degree, but it tests it a little bit. And if you pass it, which he did on the first try, you get your owner builder authorization. So we don't hire a contractor to build this cabin. We can hire as many subcontracts as we want. It's just he has to substantially manage the build. So the rule is, like, he's responsible for everything when it comes to the build. So he's got to be on site when the work is happening. He's making all of the decisions because we don't have a general contractor. This is going to save us a lot of money. It's also, a lot more work on our part. But it's something that we honestly, we want to do. We want to challenge ourselves. And it kind of feels like this sort of legacy project to be able to create this building together. That's, it's not like going to be our dream home, because I don't want to live on a ski hill for the rest of my life, but a project that we can complete together, that we can go and spend time at and enjoy, like, knowing that this is a thing that we created and that we can be super proud of. So there's all these different reasons. And then financially, this is the first year that it really, truly made sense to do it. We have been setting aside, saving lots of money for not necessarily a specific thing for some time. And when we finally landed on, well, I shouldn't say we finally landed on it. When we finally went back to thinking about building this cabin again, we were like, this feels like the right place to spend some of the money and the assets that we've been saving. It feels like the right thing to do. And so we're really excited about it. So we're going to have this land, we're going to put a building on it, and we're not going to live there. Well, we have to kind of live there part-time for the first year, because one of the rules for this owner builder authorization is you can't rent it out for the first year after occupancy. And I think that's just because, like, if something is like really wrong with the structure of the building or something, like, you're not going to kill anybody else who happens to be in your house. I think that's why they do it, although I'm not totally sure. But we're actually kind of excited about that. We do plan to rent it out after that 1 year period, because it's on a ski hill and vacation rentals up there are limited. So it has pretty good revenue potential after that first year, once we are legally allowed to rent it out. But we're very much okay with not being able to earn revenue from it for the first year, because we don't take enough vacations. We don't take enough time to just relax, to to sit around, to enjoy the fruits of our labor, so to speak. And this is a good way to do it. And once, after the building is built, we'll always have this place to go. We used to own a condo on another ski hill called Sun Peaks, but we didn't go there very often because it was never ours. Like, the condo was managed like a hotel, and you weren't allowed to change the rooms or the decor. You couldn't store any of your own stuff there. So it never felt like our space. And we didn't go up there a lot, pretty much for that reason. It was also really hot. I remember that building being so hot, and we were not even comfortable sleeping all the time up there. So anyway, we sold that one a couple of years ago. Thankfully, we don't have it anymore. But having something that we built ourselves, I think, is going to be a huge draw to going up there. And so far, the people I've met in the community all seem amazing and generous and kind, and the kind of people who just help each other. And I do feel like this is going to be a really positive experience, although I know for sure that there will be many stressful moments. And then the other thing I think about too is, like, in that first year, are we going to be like, let's go up to the cabin to relax, or are we going to be like, let's go up to the cabin to finish the never-ending projects that we didn't complete during the build? I do worry about that a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see. Once we get a hot tub up there, we'll be spending a lot of time in that. So that's the big project. That's what a dozen or more years of reselling, putting money aside, trying to figure out, like, what we want to do next with our lives has led to. It's led to this cabin project. So what I'm planning to do is share the process as much as I can. I'm not going to be there all the time during the build, because he's got the owner builder, so he has to be there to manage the process. I still have to run the business. I still have to run the reselling business. So I'm going to be back in Vancouver more often, but I'm going to be documenting this whole process as much as I can. I think this is very video friendly. The trials, the tribulations, the headaches, the hiccups, the inevitable problems that we're going to face that we can't even think about right now, the cost overruns, but also the excitement of putting the foundation in and, waiting for it to cure, to getting the framing up, to finally putting doors and windows in and being able to lock the thing, to choosing cabinets and tiles and paint. We're going to be scrounging as much of this stuff as we can from our sources, from our suppliers, from the places that we already get reselling inventory. These partners of ours do demo jobs. They break down construction sites. We will be able to find things from there that are going to help with some of the materials costs for this. Now, I'm going to be realistic. I don't expect to find, 600 square feet of the perfect tile that I want in the bathrooms and the kitchens in the garbage. If I do, amazing. But if not, it's fine. But we're going to find things. And we've already started to put together things like the boring stuff, the nails and the screws, the electrical boxes, like all of the kind of like ugly things, the things that you need to, put your wires into, light fixtures. We found a few really cute pieces of furniture, which is like putting the cart way before the horse, honestly. But we have found a couple of really cute pieces that, we're going to kind of just set aside. We're going to use them to upgrade a basement suite that we have in the house that we rent. And then once the cabin is built, we'll be bringing some of that stuff up there. So we're going to be collecting some of the furnishings and kind of seeing, like, part of the fun of it, part of the game of it is going to be about, like, where can we save money. I want to try and calculate like what the cost savings are with this scroungy sourcing that we plan to do and that we're already doing. So I think that's going to be some of the interesting parts of it. So I plan to make lots of videos. I plan to talk to you a lot about it. If you have tips for me, I'm open to them. Maybe I sound a little bit naive with my optimism that we can do this whole project ourselves. But we have actually done some pretty substantial building related projects in the past. Johan used to do hardwood flooring installation and deck building and other minor renovations. We flipped a house a long time ago in Kelowna. We flipped a house. We built like 300 square feet onto the back of the house. Like we added a whole extra room. We moved plumbing around. Like we have some experience with that. New builds, we don't, but we know where our weaknesses are. And we have money to hire people to get us over those hurdles. So I'm confident that in, I don't know, a year or maybe 2 years, we're going to have this great cabin that we can go and stay at. I know it's going to take longer to build than I think. I know it's going to cost more to build than I think, but that's part of the process and I'm accepting it. And yeah, so those are just some of the reasons why we've decided that this year is the year to build. It's going to be crazy. I hope that you are really interested in hearing how this project goes. Could you leave a comment down below? If you haven't liked and subscribed and you're interested in this project, please do like and subscribe to the channel because I will make a separate playlist with all of the cabin related video content and stuff like that. But please leave a comment. Tell me if you think this is a cool idea, if you're looking forward to hearing how the process goes, whatever your thoughts are. If you have a recommendation for, I don't know, an electrician, we're probably going to need one of those. If you have a source for us, anything like that. Or if you want a free week at a cabin someday and you'd like to come up and nail some things with us, that'd be great. Definitely looking for labor. Gonna need it. Can't get up and lift all those rafters and do everything ourselves. So we are going to need some help. So come up and work on the cabin with us or just watch the videos. That's totally fine. Let me know what you think of this idea. I'm super excited to launch it and I'll be keeping you up to date on all the crazy things that happen. So that's my big announcement and we'll see you in the next video.